Welcome back, guys. So let's start from where we left off in the last video and talk about the translation tool. So if we want to move an object around our scene, we can see these gizmos. So these are called gizmos, all right? And we can use them to move the objects around our scene. Right now it's selected the transform tool. With the transform tool we can move the objects around our scene, all right? And remember, red shows the x-axis and green shows the y-axis. Z shows the blue shows the z-axis. All right, so with the transform tool we can move the objects around our scene. And next we have the rotation tool. All right, right now we had the translate tool, the transform tool, translate tool. All right, and next we have the rotation tool. What the rotation tool does, with the rotation tool we can rotate the object around itself and around the world. All right, so we can rotate it around the z-axis, the y-axis, and also around the x-axis. Okay, and another thing, let me reset that to default and bring it up to here again. And another thing that we have is the scale tool. All right, what scale tool is used for? You can scale the objects up and down, like you can make them bigger and more huge. So we can shrink them down on the z-axis, on the x-axis, and on the y-axis as well. And if we wanted to, we can select the middle one between all of them. So this is for the x, y, and the z, but the middle one is used for all of them at the same time. So it will, look at that, it will grow in all of the sizes at the same time. All right, so working with these tools is really useful, and you will need them all of the time. So you want to learn the shortcuts for these tools, so because it might be a little bit frustrating. So every time that you want to rotate something, you have to get here and then rotate it, and then get here, scale it, and then get here. No, so we want to learn the shortcuts of these tools. So W is used for translation tool, right? And after that E is used for the rotation tool, and then R is used for the scale tool. Right, they are all next to each other. Look at that, W, E, and R. Right, E for rotation, W for translation, and R for scale. But if you cannot remember them, you can just use the space bar. So the space bar just toggles between them. If we are in the translate mode, if we hit the space bar, it will go to the rotation mode. After that, space bar again to the scale mode, again space bar, space bar, space bar. So it toggles around them, between them. All right, guys, another thing that I want to talk about before I totally wrap up this video is the transform options in the details section. All right, so transform is a really powerful object of all of game engines. So let's see what it does. All right, so in the transform we have three main things, which are the location, rotation, and scale. So for every object in the scene, right, we have that location, rotation, and the scale. So let's see what this does. All right, so if I write on the location, write this 0, 0, and 0, all right, what it does, it will bring it down to the center of the scene. So you see this whole map, how can we place an object at a certain location? So we need a system that tells us which object is in which place. Let's see. So let me first of all reset the rotation and the scale, and then reset everything. So for example, if I move this up in the z-axis, you remember the blue line, the blue arrow um, says that is the z-axis. If I bring it up and down, the z-axis will change, the others won't. And same for the y-axis and same for the z-axis. All right, they will tell you where an object is. So these coordinates will tell you where the object is according to the world. All right, and after that we have the rotation. The rotation is straightforward as well. And so if you rotate something in the z-axis, the numbers here will change. And also if we scale something up, let me scale this up, you see it will be scaled up in all of the directions in here. It will be updated. And if we click these yellow arrows, it will reset that thing into the default value. So the default value for location is 0, 0, 0, and for the rotation as well is 0, 0, 0, and for the scale it's 1, 1, 1. All right, the default value of scale is 1, 1, 1. So if we reset them to the default values and then bring that one up, you see we have a little, lock button in here. So let's see what this lock button does. Right now, if I want to scale it only with the x-axis, I can type it like 1.5. But if I want to scale it up in all of the directions, 1 to 1.5, I must type 1.5 in all of it. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. All right, and then if I want to shrink them down to 1, I must type 1, 1, 1. But if I select that lock button in here and then type, for example, 4, it will change the whole values to 4, all of them together. So let's reset them back to their default location and bring it up to make it a little bit nicer. So guys, this was all about the Unreal Engine UI. I hope you got familiar with the UI and learned something new today. And as always, see you in the next video. Bye bye.